Hey there everyone, Lord Fidget here with another Aether Raids gameplay video. This video covers the Chaos season that completed earlier this week. I know it is a little later than normal, but I don't know, what can I say? I blinked and it was Friday, basically was what happened. So here we are on the first map. This is a prison setup. There is a way for the flyers to emerge from the prison over on the right hand side, but with the Divine Flame Vein applied by Golveg's Flared Sparrow, that's the name of it. It turns out that nobody can actually get out for the first couple turns. I think that changes here. I want to say that after Golveg took out the Lewin, that allows the air to move one space, and then Azura. Actually, I don't remember if Azura has the ability to get over there and refresher. But even if she did, it would not allow air to get close enough to my team to pose much of a threat. And of course, with the structure set up as it is now, Ophelia is not going to move, it's only going to be Azura. So I have a pretty easy closeout for this map. The Ophelia using drawback was a little bit annoying, but ultimately not a huge deal. I have so much extra action plus Kanto mobility on this squad that I was able to get out of range of Ophelia no problem. And then of course I still need to get the bonus KO. This time around my bonus unit is Vale, someone who can fight, unlike last Chaos season where I used Eliwood. I mean, Eliwood can fight, it's just he's not as good at it. For match number 2, I deployed this Citrine and Claude team. This is actually I think it's a pretty interesting safe defense strategy. So I kicked things off by having Citrine break the Catapult. That allows Claude to go in and take out the Frere, applying the gravity effect to the units around him. That includes the Seliph, who is now not going to be able to move on, or to threaten Citrine on the next turn, and as a result, the safe defense locks him down. Then, of course, Claude is able to take out the Seliph, getting through the miracle effect with a combination of lethality and just an absolutely ludicrous amount of speed. That's ludicrous speed, I believe, is a meme from somewhere. And then getting out of the enemy threat range, there is no refresher, so they don't really have a whole lot of chase down capability. For this turn, I actually decided to just take out the Lind and chill, essentially. I realized that with the what is her name? Ginunga Gap, I think. With Ginunga Gap basically immobilized by the gravity effect, there was no real threat from the enemy, and I could continue to just kind of hit and run. And here, because of the enemy positioning, I thought I was going to end up using some gravity shenanigans. Of course, when the cavalry move, they will be adjacent to each other. But what I ended up deciding was I would have Vale take out the Sigurd because I noticed a trap opportunity. So the trap opportunity is Vale attacks Sigurd. Claude waits on the Hex Trap. I did not want to use his Kanto action. The plan was always to move Citrine to the right of Ginunga Gap to secure the trap, and then Claude would trap from the top with the power of Kanto. So that was the idea behind the strategy there, and a pretty easy cleanup to map number 2. For map number 3, I have deployed the Warp Central team yet again. This is a fairly easy line, if I'm being honest. Of course, Golveg is able to get in, take out the Mirabilis, and then just retreat. Technically, she didn't even need to retreat because the safe defense would have stopped the enemy movement anyway. Regardless, I decided to have her get out of there, and then I was also able to take out the Otter. That sets up a similar sort of concept here on this turn, where Ira was able to hit and run on the Seliph, since this map does not have Kanto control. And interestingly, the Leaf had both Tempest skills, so that was something that I kind of had to be a little careful of. But again, with the refresher out of the way, there was really no way for the enemy to get close enough to meaningfully threaten me. So here, I believe I broke the tactics room just because it was getting kind of annoying. And then I think the Dimitri, repositioned the Lin back up into the corner. That actually is a trap opportunity. I didn't really notice it at the time. I'm actually not even sure I had enough mobility to secure it. But I ended up actually taking out the Dimitri and then using the Flame Vein to cover my escape. And of course this sets up Vale taking out the Aether Amphore. I actually forgot that Ivy's Soaring Guidance also allows infantry to warp to her, so I thought I didn't have a way to get Vale to Lin here, and I just full retreated because that was a possibility, and I just took out the Lin on the next turn, so bit of a minor error by me. In match number 4, I have deployed the Warp Central team again, this time against a map that has a whole lot of breakable structures going up the left-hand side, and I had decided to have a little bit of fun with that, using my Warp-heavy team to just basically get into their walls. I thought that was pretty funny. Unfortunately, because of the Gatekeeper, I can't get all the way to the enemy. I did need to, or I can't warp my way all the can't warp my way over to the enemy. Thanks, Tongue. Very helpful. And I did need to break a bunch of the structures. This, of course, sets up Ivy repositioning Golveg to attack the Robin. I didn't want to deal with whatever it was he was doing. And then here I anticipated some sort of Freyr getting a refresh, and then actually no, he wouldn't have, because Ninian would have been too far. So I'm not sure why I ended up playing that as safely as I did with my units so far away from the Freyr. It did end up mattering, of course, because now that Ninian's way up in the corner, there's no way the enemies are going to get close to me. I did worry about Gatekeeper moving before her. I think I maybe just wasn't really looking at the assist setup, since Ninian obviously moved first. And then here Ira has a very easy kill on the Gatekeeper, and I think I ended up having Golveg take out the Ninian here. And then that also exposes, or that leaves Otter as the only enemy on the map. And then again, I just kind of forgot about warp capability, or I didn't really look too closely at the warp capability. I could have done this in two actions, but I ended up having Ira take the kill. For match number 5, we have another prison setup. Fortunately, Vale is the bonus unit this season. Otherwise, I probably would have had a lot of trouble with that Camilla. Of course, Vale does have so much res that Camilla does not get the Vantage effect from her weapon. But we will see that come into play later. That was really the big consideration for me when well, I guess all my teams have bonus unit Vale, so it didn't really matter which team I deployed, but that was one thing I really wanted to make sure I had right, that I wouldn't have issues with dealing with the Camilla. And here I think I just ended up, repositioning Vale in. I remembered this time that Soaring Guidance also can warp infantry. And I had Vale take out the Camilla. And then I believe I ended up breaking the Bolt Tower just so it wouldn't hit me. And then that just leaves the Fomortis and the Freyr. So I'm just going to go ahead and let the rest of this map play out. For match number 6, I think this is match number 6, or is it 7? I've lost count, I'm sorry. We have a space pressure setup, interestingly enough. Unfortunately for this team, I do have a whole lot of warp power, and with that warp power I was able to take out both the Corrin and the Hinoka, just kind of run away. And without the Hinoka, there's no charge in play, so the enemy's threat range is significantly reduced. And then I think I double-checked the assist setup to make sure that, Triandra ended up moving before Claude, so there was no danger of him getting refreshed into my team. And here I executed a trap strategy with, oh gosh, I forget who would have, it probably would have been Ira. Taking out the Soniki, Kantoing in front of the Claude, yes. And then the Gulveg can take out the Triandra. And then that actually... Oh, what am I doing? Oh, yes, this is the one where I forgot about the Aether Amphorae. I thought I got both Aether structures already, so I finished the Claude off, but I didn't, and I missed one. Whoops. Okay, so this is match number 7, I remember now. And again, I did a warp-heavy setup. I'm not really sure what the Bolt Tower and Infantry School are doing where they are. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. I don't think it's a good idea to block the 2 units you are giving charge to. That just strikes me as odd. In any case, I ended up just waiting, sitting around for another turn. Of course, there's really no way for the enemies to get to my team. And I have so much warp power that I can freely move in and out of the enemy position without, well, I was about to say without breaking the enemy structures, and then I went ahead and broke one of the enemy structures. The idea behind not breaking them, of course, would be to prevent Aether and the Brave Crom from moving in, but of course, at this point, it doesn't really matter. The crowd has been thinned out enough that it's pretty easy to just let the enemies approach. They don't have the capability to approach quickly enough to threaten me. Of course, here Crom is not with Aether moving 3 spaces. Crom would not have been able to get to him for, I think it's to change fate. Is this Crom's variation of the assist skill? So there was no threat with him getting an extra action. And then I used warp shenanigans to get to the Aether Amphorae. I think the Aether just went straight down. Yeah, he did, going after Peony. And that sets up a bonus unit KO for Veil after I use more warp shenanigans to grab the other Aether structure. In match number 8, the final match of this this video, I'm pretty sure I just did what I've been doing basically this entire time, warping Ivy in, which allows Gulveg to go in and take out something, in this case the Corrin. That enables the safety fence. Oh, I also took out the Medeus. It would have had to be been the Medeus, because if it hadn't been the Medeus, then he would have Kanto controlled me, and Ira would have been stuck sitting in the face of Claude, Catria, Robin, and Peony, which would not have been a fun time. Ira was also able to take out the Claude here, just slowly dismantling the enemy force, and really the only significant combat threat now is the Robin, who is much too far away to do anything meaningful, and he even moved first. So, fairly easy cleanup here. Veil gets her bonus kill. And then I think I ended up sitting Veil on the outside of Peony's range, instead of just leaving her where she was after taking out the Robin. I don't think the Peony had Soaring Guidance, but I was too lazy to check, so I didn't even bother playing around it. And of course, grabbing the Aether structures, although technically that's not strictly necessary. And that is it. I hope you all enjoyed this episode of Aether Raids gameplay. A whole lot of warp shenanigans this Chaos season, and since this the team I used mostly was basically a Light Season team, and we are going back to Light Season after this Chaos rotation, you can expect many more warp shenanigans in the Light Season video for next week. So, as always, thank you all so much for watching, and I will catch you next time.